Hello, all. Today we are going to discuss two important concepts from the best-selling book Atomic Habits by James Clear. The basic premise of this book are two things. Number one, tiny fundamental changes build up over time, producing remarkable results. Number two, focusing on making small improvements consistently over time is more effective than sudden transformations. For example, reading for 15 minutes a day, exercising for 20 minutes a day, or eating healthier every single day over a period of time can give you lasting results. Interestingly, both of the premise of this book is science backed. Let's take a look at the research. The National Institute of Health demonstrated a research that showed that incorporating tiny habits can result in statistically significant transformations over time. Now, let's take a look at the two concepts discussed in the book that you can implement in your daily life to bring about significant transformations in your life. Number one is a paperclip strategy. Let's take the life of a stockbroker named Trent. He began his day with a very simple routine. He had an everyday goals of making 120 sales calls. So he took 120 paper clips in one jar, and as and when he kept making sales calls throughout the day, he kept moving the paper clips from one jar to another. And at the end of the day, he saw that this jar was empty and the next jar was full of 120 paper clips. It wasn't just a quirky habit, it was his trick to success, because Trent became one of the most successful stockbrokers of the entire company. So what worked as a strategy for him? By making regular sales call and tagging each one with paperclip, he showed the strength of visible progress. The author in the book, James Clear, says that you can either use paper clips, marbles, or anything which is tangible in nature to see the amount of progress you are making in your everyday life. This gives a clear proof of progress and a quick feeling of satisfaction. Example, if you have a habit of doing yoga 5 times in a week, every single time you do it in a week, you move one marble from one cup to another. So when you see 5 marbles have shifted at the end of the week and you have reached your goal, it gives a sign of visible progress, and it shows that you are happy because you can see all of the marbles moving. It shows a sign of satisfaction of completing your goal, and it motivates you to do more of that. Visual cues such as these are effective for 4 main reasons. Number 1, initiating behavior. Whenever we see visual cues such as marble or paperclip being moved from one place to another, it reminds us that we need to start initiating that behavior or habit. Relying on memory alone often leads to forgotten intentions. Number 2, tracking progress. Visual cues such as the paper clips or the marbles moving from one jar to another shows a visible way of tracking your progress. It shows consistency, it shows the power of habits, emphasizing the importance of habit tracking. Number 3, boosting motivation. This visual evidence of progress has an addictive effect on motivation. For example, if you know that you're feeling lazy and don't want to do yoga, you know that this marble will be moved from one jar to another only when you perform your goal. If you perform your everyday task of doing yoga, that means it will motivate you to do that, because at the end of the week, you want to see 5 marbles in this jar moving from this jar. You naturally become more motivated to perform something. This aligns with behavioral economics, where a perceived value of a task increases as progress is made, reinforcing the commitment to complete a task. Number 4, short-term and long-term motivation. Visual cues of progress not only boost short-term motivation but also long-term motivation. A few lines from the book as quoted by the author. It doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful you are. What matters is whether your habits are putting you on the path towards success. You should be far more concerned with your current trajectory than with your current results. The second concept coming from the book is the Goldilocks Rule. So what is the Goldilocks Rule all about? The Goldilocks Rule says that we feel more motivated to stay on to a habit when it is at the verge of our current abilities. That means it is just of manageable difficulty, not too difficult and not too simple. Let's take a look at the remarkable journey of Steve Martin. His path to stardom wasn't a swift climb. In fact, he started practicing in front of 5 people, then 10 people, then 15, and gradually improving his progress and his skills. It's not about starting with an hour-long show. It's about taking small steps and gradually pushing those boundaries. Forget about those tasks that are too easy or too difficult. It is about finding that sweet spot where any task is of manageable difficulty. It is difficult, but it can be managed. The Goldilocks Rule, in simple terms, says that we are more motivated or the most motivated when we are doing something which is at the edge of our current abilities. Example, if you're playing tennis with someone, if you play with a national level player, you might lose the motivation to keep playing because you keep losing every single time. While if you play with a child, you will lose the motivation again because you're winning every single time. So you would want to play with a player who's a little bit better than you. Difficult to play with that person, but manageable. With the desire to improve is easy, maintaining motivation is the challenge. To stay motivated for the long term, start with a manageable challenge, measure progress, and keep doing it consistently. So there you have it. 2 concepts, or very important ones, one the paperclip strategy and one the Goldilocks rule, coming from the best-selling book Atomic Habits. If you have not read this book, or if you had, please do share it in the comment section. I have prepared 3 videos already on this book which are over here if you would like to take a look at those after watching this video. Remember this line, that we are what we repeatedly do. Success is not about doing one thing once a month, but success is about small, tiny things that we do every single day over a period of time to see remarkable results. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you've liked the contents, please do subscribe to my channel. It really motivates me to prepare more of such videos.